We'll find out as we get started right now. Come on, Shefty. Ready to roll? Shefty's ready to go. I got my whole secondary over here on this side. No one's completing a pass on this group today. I'll tell you that right now.
To this side of the field.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're checking down to this side of the field. We're going to take you everywhere today because players are rolling into training camps, and we'll take you live everywhere they go. Let's do a roll call. 26 teams reporting to camp today. Why don't we start in New England, the defending AFC champion Patriots, entering the season with a new number one wide receiver. That's A.J. Brown, who was talking yesterday about getting acclimated in a new offense and building chemistry with his new quarterback, Drake May.
I'm still getting comfortable each and every day, and I'm grateful. The offense is, I'm pretty in a good spot. You know, I want to say I'm like 90%. You know, and it's just really just about going to execute and getting on the same page with Drake each and every day. You have to do what your quarterback likes. I mean, as far as my game will be my game. Yeah. But as far as of what he likes and what he needs, that's the thing that I got to get on the same page with him and continue to work on those things, and we will, and we have. So.
Okay, that's A.J. Brown. This is J. Mack. Why did that resonate with you, the way he said that?
Right now, to hear A.J. Brown talk about doing what my quarterback likes and getting on the same page with my quarterback, I mean, that's music to New England Patriots fans' ears, because a year ago we're watching him read a book on the sideline. Now he's getting on the same page as his quarterback. He's fascinated. He's thrilled to be there. He talked about being grateful. You can see that. We already know the prior relationship with Mike Vrabel. So just seeing him out there in that jersey for the Patriots as training camp now is rolling around, it just feels right for the Patriots.
Here's what I'm going to try not to do. I'm going to try very hard not to read into everything everyone says. So when he says, I'm trying to get on the same page with my quarterback, it's important that I'm doing what he wants me to do and be where he wants me to be. Yeah. Something the old Greenie wants so badly to read into that. That's a subtle shot at Jalen Hurts. I'm going to try not. Is it? Tell the old Greenie. I think he's just saying, you know, coach speak and nothing.
It's impossible to remove the statement from the context. Right. So I understand why you hear that, but I think he seems so relieved and moved on to a next chapter that it feels like he's motivated. Like his skin looked clear. He just looked relaxed and happy. Yeah, and just healthy. Like, I do think that there was a weight lifted off of him. You can attribute that to the previous situation, the previous quarterback, but it feels like he's moved on. So tell the old Greenie, relax.
And it looks like he's comfortable with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
You bring up his prior relationship with Vrabel. Vrabel is the reason that he wanted to be in New England. And so in the first practice, A.J. Brown throws or drops the first pass that is thrown to him, and they get into the team meeting, and Vrabel rips A.J. Brown there playfully. And so that is what he has signed up for. That is what he knew he was getting. He's comfortable to be back in front of the coach he knew and played for in Tennessee. And the summer is underway there in New England.
And again, as I told you, we're going to take you to all these camps today as players are reporting yesterday. Obviously, they were on the field already because they played that first Wednesday night game at Seattle. But we're going to talk a lot and focus a lot on Drake May because he was an MVP candidate, and on A.J. Brown because he's brand new. But you were telling me in the meeting this morning, the thing in New England to decide their season has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I think A.J. is going to be a great addition, and it's going to be awesome if they can protect the quarterback long enough for him to get the ball there. And their offensive line wasn't terrible, but their O-line was exposed a bit in the postseason.
Not a bit. No, it wasn't exposed a bit.
Well, it got ugly in the Super Bowl, but they were pretty bad on offense through the whole run in the playoffs, surprisingly. And I think A.J. Brown is going to solve some of that, but their biggest problem wasn't that they didn't have a game-breaking receiver. Their biggest problem was they felt like they couldn't keep guys off of Drake May.
I agree, and I think what they missed out in that Super Bowl too was a guy that could just line up and beat man-to-man coverage. They struggled. AJ will be able to help with that. And I think to your point with the offensive line, Will Campbell was coming off an injury. He struggled in the playoffs. And they brought in some different pieces that if they can stay healthy, like Vera Tucker, that's going to make a big difference. But I'm with you. There's different pieces playing different roles. Jared Wilson moving the center. Like, those are the things that you got to be able to figure out to hit the ground running.
There was an added emphasis on the offensive line, which anybody would agree with if they watched the Super Bowl. They know that's going to be one of the keys to the regular season, and they feel like they addressed it during the offseason.
And one of the themes of today is going to be, it's the beginning, so I'm going to ask everyone to forecast the end. I feel like the conventional wisdom on the Patriots is, right now, just from the sort of reading the tea leaves of what I think most people think, they were the beneficiary of a very easy schedule last year. No one saw them coming. By the time anyone was paying attention, they had already won the division and everything else, and they got kind of lucky along the way in the playoffs. So the question is, are they going to win that division again this year, yay or nay?
Yeah, I think they do, honestly. I think they're better now than they were then. And I think it's impossible to, dismiss the fact that their schedule was easy last year. It wasn't just easy last year. It was easy, generationally easy schedule.
Right.
So, that was a huge benefit. And then the injuries to the other quarterback, to Bo Nix in the playoffs, helped them a lot. So, yeah, you can say that some of their success was a result of circumstances they couldn't control. But you can't argue that this team has not improved with the additions that they made, and as great as their defense was playing at the end of last season.
And I think to your point, it can all be true. All of the things you just said about them a season ago can all be accurate. And then you can also look at them this year and say, well, they got better than where they were last year. And they were an extremely young team that was just coming together. And now that experience of making it all the way to the Super Bowl, losing that game, the sting that leaves you with leading into another season with the addition of a few veterans, I definitely have them the favorite in that division.
All right, so that's where A.J. Brown is now. Our next stop is where A.J. Brown was before, and that's Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles showing up at camp. They enter a new reality without A.J. Brown, coming off the greatest 4-year run by any receiver in franchise history. Devontae Smith will fill the void as the team's number one. Rookie first-rounder Mekhi Lemon expected to be a middle-of-the-field option for Hurts. They also drafted a really good-looking tight end early in the draft, and we know that they have that there as well. So I guess the question is Devontae Smith ready to step into that role and become a full-fledged number one top-flight NFL star receiver?
100%. There's no question about it. He seemed like he transitioned to the number one receiver at a certain point last year in the way that they designed their offense. It helped to have AJ on the other side. He won't have that support of the challenge, the defense having to account for AJ, but he does everything pretty well. He catches the ball over his shoulder, attacks it, runs short routes well, he yards after the catch. There's nothing that you want from Devontae Smith. There's nothing that you could want from a receiver that Devontae Smith can't do. So I'm excited to see how he works out, but it always goes back to the O-line, especially for the Eagles. Their best teams are when their O-line is healthy and dominant. If they can do that again, then Devontae's going to be great, Jalen's going to be great, Saquon's going to be great.
And I think people aren't talking enough about the fact that they did lose their offensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland, a coaching legend. We keep talking about Sean Mannion will do it again, their new offensive coordinator, but they are without their offensive line coach. And when you bring up Devontae Smith, the one thing that stood out to me being around them at training camp a couple summers ago was they felt like Devontae Smith was, and you wouldn't think of this ordinarily, the toughest player on their team. Doesn't look like the biggest guy, but the respect that they have for that player in that locker room is off the charts. And this is a year where there's even more pressure, more targets for him, and I think they fully expect that he's going to be up to that challenge.
I think to that point, talking to different people in that building, players that have been there, some coaches, they call him Smitty, that he's the fiery one. We all talked about A.J. Brown over the last few seasons, things he did on the sideline, and him being just grown to. They said Smitty's the guy on the sideline. When things aren't going right, you can hear his voice echoing and yelling at everybody on the field. So I think when you talk about that alpha receiver, I look at just crucial moments in the games in the past. He's been the guy on third down in the slot, making a big play or a catch and run. When you have the ability to do that, you have the mindset to be a number one receiver. He's going to be just fine. To me, it's the pieces around how Mekhi Lemon fits into this offense, how he's used, how Jalen Hurts likes the different